All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. And today we're going to go over some stuff about cybersecurity and things to help keep you safe and your information safe. and go over some ideas on how to make sure you don't get hacked. Right? Is that the topic for today? But of course,
and keeping your clients safe too.
Now, disclaimer, Debbie and I aren't, magicians when it comes to cybersecurity, but we do read articles.
Yes, we do.
We do get information from National Association of Realtors and Century 21 and our, insurance company and stuff like that. So we get information, but, we're not sitting in a class on, the exact technicalities of what you need to do.
Right.
Logging in there. So we're going to give you the the easiest definition of a lot of this, but the disclaimer is obviously look into some experts if you really want to dive into the how it works. So, all right, so we're going to go in and share screen. There we go. Share. Then I'm going to go here and play. There we go. Best practices for real estate professionals in cybersecurity. So we'll let you go. Go ahead, Deb. You start.
Well, the very first one, of course, everybody needs to make sure that their email and password hygiene is up to good standards there. So there's times when I'm doing a Zoom call with someone and I can see their computer because we're sharing screens and stuff. And they open up their email and I cringe because there's just so much going on in there. And now, of course, I'm a want to do things streamline way. But what I'm talking about is if you have 34,000 emails sitting in there, and you haven't cleaned them out and you don't know what they are, you have a very big chance of clicking and opening something that's going to create a problem for you. So keep up to date with your emails and clean them out. We're real estate agents, we get a ton of spam emails all the time, and you guys would just not even believe the stuff that we get at the office on top of it all. But we have to clean them out. You've got to make sure that you're keeping it organized and stuff. Otherwise, not only are you going to be susceptible to people breaking into your stuff, but you're going to miss me and my talking these days, right? You're going to miss important things when they come to you, right? So the thing about unknown attachments and links, this is something that you can also pass on to your clients. If they're not expecting anything from you, they shouldn't be opening an attachment or a link. If you're sending something to an offer, to a listing agent, text them and let them know it's coming. Right? If you're sending documents to your buyer or your seller, hey, I just forwarded you a copy of all the signed documents. You can check it. It's in your email. They know that's legit because it's coming from you. If you don't give them an update to what you're doing, they're not going to know that that's even from you. Same with your title company, same with your lenders. If you're not expecting something, then you need to make sure that's legit before you open it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so my opinion is don't use email as the only way of communication. So it's just a way of sending stuff like, hey, so you tell, like you're saying, Deb, is you're telling your client, if I send you something through email, I'm going to call or text you, it's on its way. Don't ever just open up. But so many agents use email as a communication. That's to me, in my opinion, it's a way to send documents, send information, not give information, because then that's where people could log in and see what's going on, add, lots of things. Some people write emails of like, books. It could find out everything about anybody in an email. No, it's just like, here's the it's more for me, emails like documents. or if it's too much and you want to document something, a conversation that's not too long for an email or for a text, and you don't want to call, you want to document something, then, that's email. But if you start using it that way, the people that you're doing business with will start using it that way. And then you won't, people clicking and opening things that they shouldn't because they think it's coming from you, and vice versa, if that makes sense. Like, you tell people, don't send me anything, and that's it. Don't like text me or call me and saying, hey, by the way, I'm sending you an email. How about that? I get that. Like, I don't know, you probably get that too, Deb, like once or twice a day. I get it from some agent. I sent you an email yesterday. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Get so many. Why didn't you just
Yeah.
think to read every email? And I don't see them all, and there's so many of them, and some could be spam, and who knows what you put in the subject line. Let me know. Hey, I'm sending an email in a few minutes I could watch. So
Yeah, a big one is for your review.
yeah,
When they're sending a contract that we need to open because it's time sensitive and it says for your review, that just means that when you get a chance, review that. So don't put that on there, because that's what it means to us. If you're sending an offer that's been accepted, put that in your subject line, accepted offer. Everyone's excited about it, right? So then we'll open it. Or Tony, please help me with this. If you don't put Tony, please help me with this in the subject line, Tony's not going to read it.
probably. If I had a chance,
Right?
300-400 emails a day, if I had time to read them all, on that.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, no, this gives you just an idea, thoughts of what you can do to, when you have conversations with your clients, of why, don't send me a lot, emails to communicate unless you really want to. But then that leaves it open, in my opinion, for someone else to hack your email and see that you're communicating and send something to somebody, and it's attachment to hack them or something.
Yeah, because all they have to do is create a Gmail and misspell your name slightly, and chances are whoever accepts that email isn't going to notice that misspelling. So pay attention to what it says when you're reading them, and also coach your clients to pay attention to what it says, who it's coming from when they're reading them. If you can try and avoid using public Wi-Fi as much as possible, because that's another way that they find to break in to our emails and stuff. So real estate agents do get targeted quite a bit because we're always working through email. So that's our whole point of what we're talking about right here.
Talking about money, earnest money, people sending us, they shouldn't, but sometimes, bank statements and copies of checks, which account numbers and names and addresses on them.
Mhm.
How many of us in real estate have, sent over a PDF of someone, a whole file, and it has the earnest money check copied in there with the people's names, address, and and numbers of their account numbers on there. And good news is, I think it's getting a little better, because I don't see it as much, because I think a lot of the title companies put a lot of systems in place. Because I think we used to, several years ago before COVID, I had agents getting these out of town people trying to just put offers on property, and then all of a sudden at the end falling off the planet. And it happened a couple times all in the same month with a couple different agents, because I think that they were just trying to get to the end to pretend like they were going to wire money to a title company to get the title companies wiring instructions or account numbers and hack into them. So they increased their security and how they do things. So I think it stopped a lot, but there's always people out there.
Yes, there is.
All right, next one.
Yep. Next one.
Go ahead.
So here's a couple other things that you can put onto your computer, or make sure your computer has it, like antivirus software and firewalls. Those, if you're buying a new computer, they already come with a lot of good stuff, but we use Viper here because Viper is very big. They have huge security. And of course, if you're using Mac products or Apple products, they have built-in security too. So make sure you have that up there, and that you're using those firewalls in case, because that'll help stop those people. back up your stuff. So get it off your computer. As soon as your deal is done, of course you need to keep it, but back it up, whether it's using Dropbox or whether it's even using your Google Drive. I wouldn't use the Google Drive to save documents though. I would use either Dropbox because they're secure, or what I do is I plug in an external hard drive. So it's my little pack. It has 2 terabytes. I bought it for, I don't even know, under $50 on Groupon. And I plug it into the computer and I take everything off of it. Once I'm done with that, put it onto the external hard drive. It can go with you wherever you go. If your computer crashes, you don't have to worry about it anymore because you've got it all right there. So back up your stuff, get it off your computer. So if someone does hack your computer, they don't have the access to it. And then verify when you're downloading apps onto your computer and your phone, by the way, make sure you're downloading the right thing, because so many times you can Google, I'm going to Google this thing for the app, and you click on something that is not even what it's supposed to be. Because I don't know how they do those algorithms, but they move up the chain and it's not even what you were supposed to be opening up. So watch that stuff before you click download, that you're in the right place.
I did that the other day, and hopefully it was a legitimate thing.
Oh,
Downloading an app, and I was on the phone, and it's an advertisement that says click here to like download, and I thought I was on the sheet, but then as soon as I clicked, it went to something else, and I started signing in, and then I go, this doesn't look right, and then I went back. I'm like, oh, that was an advertisement,
yeah.
all it said was click here to download. What, I didn't even know what it was, and it was some like free music website or something like that. So, but again, lucky I caught it. So you got to watch what you click.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Next, go ahead.
Okay, so here's some tips for you and also tips for your customers too. So the one that I have at the top is because this is really it's become more prevalent lately. Well, maybe not so much this year. I haven't seen so much this year, but last year and the year before, definitely saw a lot of fake listings and rental scams. So if people are using Craigslist, for instance, anybody can go on Craigslist and make a listing of anything. And what the scammers do is they copy your information from your listing, and then they throw it on Craigslist of, oh, here, I'm renting out this property, contact me here, send your money here, send your application here, and blah, 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 blah. And it's not really you, or it's not really your seller. So be careful of that. That actually happened to Carly's sister. And she called the office and she said, these people are coming and knocking on the door because they want to see the property because it was listed for rent on Craigslist. So we definitely know the house wasn't listed on Craigslist. It's her dad's home, and he had no intention of renting it out to anyone. So that was one scammer that definitely didn't get away with it. but they got inconvenienced in people coming to their house because no one was answering the phone wherever it was that they were calling. So just be careful of all of that. And make sure
that would have, I was going to say that happened to one of our agents a couple years ago. Same exact thing. Was our listing, and a neighbor called the owners of the house. Lucky they already moved, but they knew it, and said, oh, so congratulations, you sold your house, someone's moving into your house, and called the agent like, there's people moving into my house. And the agent went over there, and there's people moving into the house, and what they found out was the same type of scam, but just by chance the people showed up to move in with a moving truck while there was workers there doing some work, and they were in and out of the house, and the people said, yeah, we're renting this house out, and we talked to the owners and we're moving in today, and they go, okay, let them in the house, and they were moving stuff in, and it was a pretty sad situation there. I had to call the police and get out there, and because everybody was trying to point fingers, and it was a scam. So it can happen.
Yep.
Okay, next one or next?
Wire fraud.
Oh, go ahead.
So Again, going back to the wire fraud, because that's the number one thing, you guys out there. So your title company will definitely get with the person, whoever it is that's supposed to be sending the money to them, with their instructions. It will be totally secure. If your client gets calls you up and says, hey, I got an email from you with the wire instructions, I wired my money, you need to get a hold of them right away and tell them to stop that, because you as agents will never get that wire instructions from the title company to forward to your person. They're going to be talking directly to them. So make sure you're telling your buyers, I'm not going to ever give you the wire instructions. So if you ever see an email from me asking for your stuff, don't do it, because it's not real. Make sure, like I said before, that they're verifying all the information before they're actually sending their stuff out. Now, I do know, like, a lot of them are using Qualia these days, and Qualia is totally secure. So if they're ever asking for things through that, to my knowledge, the title companies are using Qualia or another company that's similar to that one, because they are trying to make things as secure as possible. I know Ohio Real Title has the online transfer for the earnest money, which is really nice. And you just go to their website and put the information in. So they're not even giving you the wire instructions there. They're just going to a secure site, and the buyer puts their information in and it goes over to them that way. And then you get a confirmation from them that they received it.
Right. And that's another thing. I mean, knock on wood, we've never had this problem, and hopefully never will, about agents or a client saying they gave us a check or something and thinking that because they gave us a check or some information about earnest money or something, that their identity was stolen. But obviously, if you never touch a check or they never give you information, and you just point them to title companies or promote title companies that could take the earnest money directly electronically, then it takes it kind of, a little less stress and a little less liability on you and us for doing that. So I prefer never having earnest money, my personal self, but it happens. But just getting that to the title companies and skipping the middleman of us, and it limits everybody else's liability too.
Yeah.
All right, next. There you go.
So law, policy, insurance, considerations, all of this is for you guys to work through your business. Because again, we're talking about your business here. So put policies into place, right? You can go to NAR. They have a whole selection of information that you can read, which is where I got a lot of this from today, on wire fraud and other ways to protect yourself from cybersecurity. And they do have the wire fraud email notice template that you can put at the bottom of your emails, which just basically goes out every single time you put it in your email signature, to try and also dissuade people from copying your stuff. You can go there to make sure that you're staying up to date with what's happening in our industry. A lot of you, I know this is a royal pain in the butt, but we've gone to two-step verifications in a lot of different places. There's reasons for that, you guys. We need to make sure that we're staying safe, right? So I know it's an inconvenience and it's annoying that 21 Online does it and the MLS does it, but there's reasons why. We have people's private information sitting places, and we can't let it get out to others. And create your own policies for your own stuff on what you're doing, and making sure that you're cleaning out your emails once a month or whatever it is, so that you're keeping up to date to all this stuff.
And this, like, for some agents, not too many because we don't promote it, over the years been using Century 21 email, like at century21.com or at c21.com. But over the years, they keep on changing to different services and different this because of security. It's like the number one reason I keep on trying, because there's liability to Century 21, liability to us when people are using our email systems. And that's one of the reasons, like, we don't use our our little office or get our own email. We want to use, I mean, this is my personal opinion, Gmail, because I just feel that obviously if all of a sudden Gmail was they know that they give free email and do all this stuff to make It's owned by Google, that they want to make sure it's secure. If all of a sudden it's not secure as much, so that's my opinion. I feel like going with the big guys with that, if they'll have everything in place, or at least have the upgrades and the things to watch to make it secure. Where if we had our own little email service, or just to have some little vanity email, is not worth it to me. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a lot of agents. Why don't you send an email? I mean, put your name in it, but we're put c21@gmail, put anything in it, but just so many people are used to Gmail. And now when you send Gmail or other big services like that, it connects with people more. It could send, if they're using the same one. And I know people have their opinion about, who to use, like their team of choice. But I just wanted to explain why we do that. It's just mostly for security and ease and marketing.
Yeah,
So.
that's absolutely true. Gmail and Proton Mail are the two biggest servers out there that have the best security. At least that's what it says on NAR site. So, you can read all of that stuff for yourself. You don't just have to take our word for any of this stuff. You're welcome to research other ways to do things and stuff like that. But that is exactly true. Not only is it more recognizable, Gmail, but the security is
Yeah.
they have it secure for a reason,
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, some CE coming up.
Yep. On the 19th, we have Mike Ferrante, his core ethics. That's a $10 fee one. On September 2nd, we got DocuSign, the easy alternative to Dotloop. That's another Mike Ferrante class, and that's also a $10 fee. Hesh has a couple free ones coming up in September. He says, what is the mortgage process? So that is going to walk you through exactly what they're doing with the mortgage process, which I think is huge. Everybody who, especially brand new agents, you need to know. It's not something that you're going to talk about every day or whatever, but if your person asks you, we are the expert in everything real estate, right? So at least you can give them a little breakdown of what happens with the mortgage process. I'm sure that you didn't retain all of that stuff when you were in class and they shoved a bunch of stuff in your brain for 6 weeks. So you could brush up on it here with a class with Hesh, and he's very entertaining. Spooky things that can bury deals is October 5th, and that I've gone to that class. That's a fun one. So
and I guess he figured he does his once a month, so that's October, even though it's Halloween's quite a while from October 5th, but that's
yeah, he does the first Thursday of every month.
So the November one should be coming out there. But and also we're working on starting today a website, just a landing page that has all the links to this. So we'll keep you updated with that.
Yes.
So we'll be hopefully by next week or week after, we'll be able to say, go to this website or web address, and it'll be just a simple one that has this list with click to go to the different, Mike's, Hash's, John Dewey's, or
anybody else we got. Yep.
So, and last.
All right, there's our post for this month. It's Black Cat Appreciation Day on August 17th. So Romeo says hello to everybody. His eyes are looking really green there. He's really got yellow gold eyes, but he wants to let everybody know that it's Black Cat Appreciation Day. That's in another awesome. Week or two. So if you don't have a black cat, you can always appreciate any cat that comes through there. But
yeah, my son Tommy's got a black cat. His name is Dino. And his favorite toy is a plastic knife.
Romeo's favorite thing is
he plays catch with it. You throw it and he pulls it up and brings it back to you.
Yeah. He likes to throw the hair ties around. He'll throw them up in the air and catch them and then race around the house. And then I'll be like, is that mine? And he'll drop it and look at me like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mom.
That's our fun. So
yes, they are.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll if you need anything, just reach Debbie or myself. We'll happy to go more in detail on some of this. But if not, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.